Yeah. It's the mafia. Yeah.
He's a monkey with cymbals in his hands instead of just catching the foot.
And that's this. They're giving us like a 24-hour go feed. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a Bill City. Yeah, a Buffalo Bill City. Yeah, we got Josh Allen.
I know they mentioned something about an ultrasound to check the nerve endings and everything.
Hopefully
else
he's not pregnant. That would
Hopefully
be
not
a disaster. I hear that's a 9-month timeline to recover from at the minimum, is what I've heard.
Yeah, Ike McKenzie on a jet sweep. Maybe it's a fake. Honestly, it's a TD either way when you got Josh Allen making plays. Win a ball before we get a new stadium.
Someone's making a new Twitter at some point. Maybe we should do that.
Honestly, I'll just start a shared Google Doc, and that'll be our new Twitter. That'll be our new Twitter.
Just people just adding shit in.
Anonymous Hedgehog is saying "fuck your mom." Like.
This is our team forever. It is. Forever. We got Josh Allen, got Steph Diggs, Russo, Deion Dawkins, cause you know it's about to snow. It is. Mafia, you know we on a roll.
Whew, I feel like Wake today with not getting the layer up. He'll understand that. He won't be offended by that at all. How are we doing, folks? It is Thanksgiving week, and the Crowd Assist podcast is here to talk everything Bills. Jake Micah here, joined by a couple fantastic guests, Slick L, and our guy at Circle the Wagons, Kyle. How the hell are we today, guys? It's a victory Tuesday.
Feeling good after that win, ain't gonna lie, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's complaining 6-3, and then I'm like, hey, 10 days we could be 8-3, so just leave it alone. Let it go.
I love that.
For sure. Feels good to be back in the W column.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna go through, talk a little bit of the Bills' little trek to Detroit, and then get into Thanksgiving coming up 2 days away. It's such a crazy ass week. Crazy that these games, it's still beyond belief that somehow this ended up happening, this snowstorm and everything, the couple days before they're supposed to go to Detroit again. Like, just that little bit of this turn is just so weird. Like all the circumstances, the fact that it was the Browns being the team too, just strange circumstances that this happened. But I don't know if you know this, Kyle. I know Slick does. I was there in Detroit. I was trying to get a video pulled up before we started here to get some of the kickoff and everything. It felt like a Bills game, bro. It was a Bills game that was warm. I turned to somebody halfway through and I was like, yo, this literally feels like a Bills game, but my toes are like feeling good. it was incredible. Sitting outside for the tailgate, it was freezing and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, though. Like there's an exit indoors. So it was a strange experience, but great atmosphere there. And the team took care of business. It was up and down affair, but I think that overall everybody's pretty happy with it. So Kyle, I'll start with you. You were pretty hyped up about the performance and everything else. How did you feel about the game on Sunday?
I mean, overall, Bills Mafia coming to show some support. Squirrel Winners coming, helping shovel. Dawson Knox having everybody shovel. Like, the city of good neighbors, showing we're always there when you need them. Everybody doing whatever it takes to help the Bills win. Even Allen said he couldn't have won without the Mafia. 50,000 tickets sold in less than 24 hours. I mean, I got people hitting me up all over social media and stuff like, oh, I'm trying to get tickets and that. And it's like Cleveland was like a 2-hour drive. Buffalo was like a 4 to 6 hour drive. So twice as long to get there, but twice as many fans getting there because obviously, Bills Mafia is more dedicated than any other fan base in the NFL. Sorry, trademark that. But super excited overall and recapping the game. I couldn't believe the run defense. My biggest worry was Nick Chubb, and the run defense just dominated, stopped the run so hard. It was unbelievable to see. And then, we're still showing a little weakness and stuff with the corners and the back ends and stuff like that. But I was really happy with the performance. Got a little nervous at a couple different times. I was like, I don't know how he's throwing Bridgewater is throwing these passes and stuff like that. But I mean, it was really good overall. So I was happy with the outcome. I feel like we needed the win really bad, and I think this is going to push us real hard coming into next week. And, we're like 24, 48 hours away from being 8-3. Let's go.
Let's go. How are you feeling, Slick?
It was good. Like Kyle touched on, it was a team effort. It was a citywide effort. It definitely felt good to be back in the win column. Definitely some things can be touched up on our defense, but, the corners being out and still lacking Trey White makes me feel a little better about that down the road. We still give up a lot of yards to these star receivers, which I think we will get better at. And I feel a little better about the lack of production in the offense just because of the lack of time we had to practice as a team this week leading up to the game. I think that can be touched up on, but the offense looked a hell of a lot better than it did the past 2 games. So you know what? I'll take it. I'm not going to complain about this one, and we'll see how we are on Thanksgiving. Hopefully we followed up like the past couple years on Thanksgiving, get some blowout victories.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you both more. The run game, run defense and the run game, like just it felt like everything. Like I started off with, everything felt like a bizarro weekend for the Bills, and even carrying into the football game felt like a bizarro weekend. And shout out Tyler Bass, who I think that game is going to be huge for Tyler Bass going forward. He was like having a solid year, but not as good as last year, missing on some kicks that he would have hit. And I feel like that game, fans don't want to see a bunch of field goals like that, but a confidence booster for a guy that we're probably going to need going into the month of December. Like, I'm not going to underrate that for what it was seeing him go and him being able to deliver too, because if he misses one of those, I mean, this could have been a ball game. This could have been a game all the way down to the end. So yeah, it was a great team effort. I think just great complimentary football all the way around. Can't really say much more. I think that people I saw, I wasn't on Twitter as much or anything during the game, just didn't have service to try to really, but I could hear it around people, a little worry about Josh early on and just some of the misfires from the offense and everything else. There were definitely some misfires, definitely some miscommunication going on, but he turned in, I think it was Sal Capaccio first, who I saw with the stat that after the 2-minute warning, he was 14-17 for 140 yards or 158 yards in the touchdown. So it's good to see if we can win games where he's in a game manager mode. I mean, then the sky's the limit for this offense. That's really what we've been waiting for all year. And I feel like they kind of touched on that all last week. Talking about him, he didn't need to carry everything, didn't need to carry the load. And this is the first week it actually manifested. So yeah, overall great week, great win. Any other thoughts on the game from past Sunday?
I saw Brother Bill said something that was like, if we can play every offensive drive like there's 2 minutes left in the first half, like we just did, then we'll put up points every drive. So thought that was a good point. And the stat, like you said, that's the Josh Allen we know and love. So it's good to see. Hopefully he can keep that going. No brace on his elbow in a picture I saw recently. Yep. So hopefully he gets back to full form, full health. We don't know how real banged up that elbow was, but, hopefully he's nice and healthy and the throwing arm just gets back in the groove of things more and more as we play more football here.
Agreed. Anything else you got on the game, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, I mean, all of our losses, I contribute a lot to like not kicking field goals. So this game, even though Tyler Bass obviously leading the NFL in scoring and points with 93 points overall, obviously tying himself and Steve Christie with the most field goals in a game, I'm not upset about us kicking field goals. Like I don't want to see us lose a game by 3 points. So it's like us kicking field goals. We could kick 20 in a game. I don't care as long as we win. And I mean, Tyler Bass was money that game all day. And it was just great to see us getting points every single time. I mean, there's not more disappointing than when you go down all the way and then you get no points out of it or you get a turnover off of it. So like Tyler Bass definitely got the W there for us. Definitely very happy with his performance. Happy with the calls. I can't be excited enough to not lose by 3 points.
And I think that was honestly one of the stark contrasts of this game, decision-making wise, was when it was 7-0 Browns early and they go down and it's, 4th and 2 at the 35 when they kicked that first field goal. And that's a spot every other game this year they probably would have gone for it. And they're like, no, this offense, we need to help them out. We need to give them a chance later on. And also the Browns are the kings of the scripted first drive touchdown and then nothing else. And so really like try to avoid that panic. Don't try to get ahead of yourselves. Take the points and this game will come to you eventually. So, all right. So before we get into this week's game, this is a question that neither of you guys are prepared for, that I have here. As we're going to stay with the Thanksgiving theme though, obviously. You cannot use in this question as an answer Josh Allen, Stefon Diggs, Jordan Poyer, or Von Miller. Which Bill are you most thankful for this year? And Slick, you started out, buddy. You can't use those four. It's got to be one of. It's got to be one of the.
Josh Allen, Diggs, Poyer, and who?
And Von Miller. You can't use those four.
Okay. Oh, that's tough. I'm gonna have to go with someone that, we haven't seen out as much either. Oh gosh, that's tough. It has to be someone on the defense though, and I think for me it's between Tremaine Edmunds and Ed Oliver. I'm gonna go with Ed Oliver based on last game's performance. He's really stepped up this season. It's awesome to watch him come into his full form, and he's an exciting player, man. He plays with a lot of energy, and I love that defensive line. I could name almost any of those guys, Jordan Phillips, Ed Oliver, and then in the back, Tremaine Edmunds, Matt Milano. But Ed Oliver's been fun to watch this year, and I think he's taken a lot away from Von Miller as well. It's fun to watch that defensive line play, man.
Love it. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I love watching Ed Oliver. I love watching him get sacks, chasing down the quarterbacks and stuff, him doing the rodeo dance after. But hands down, game changer with Tremaine Edmunds out, Matt Milano. Lights out almost all season long, nonstop, just 10-plus tackles, sacks, so many chances of interceptions, fumble recoveries, forced fumbles. Even Jordan Phillips said, he's if we're talking about him with Stefon Diggs, he's him, Matt Milano. This is a guy that shouldn't be shunned in any way whatsoever. Matt Milano has played lights out almost his whole career, but being a smaller guy and stuff, not getting a lot of respect, and Tremaine Edmunds being big and being the center and the captain and stuff like that. But Matt Milano, what would we do without him? Any of the games we don't play, our defense is hurting. I know we can make up for it when the certain cornerbacks are out, safeties are out and stuff like that. But Matt Milano is a key piece in us going all the way, hands down 100%.
Love that. Yeah. Milano's tough to pick against, and he was a stud again on Sunday. Was a stud last week too against the Vikings. I'm going with Damar Hamlin. This guy, every game that he has played this year so far has shown me a pop play, and just I see something, or just the fluidity that he moves with, and I'm oh, now I get it. Hearing all the hype, you could see it in preseason, whatever else. You never know with those guys, and then you see him make a play in live actions and some of the plays he's made. And you're okay, I see what's happening. There is some great downfield plays he made, even on the penalty that they gave him. I understand that they're probably going to make that call 9 times out of 10 in the NFL, but what an athletic play to even make, even with the flag. It's still only a freak athlete can make that kind of pass defense. And seeing him do that, it was just literal jaw-dropping moment. I was oh my God, I didn't know this dude had it in him. And he has brought such stability to that position, with Poyer being in and out of the lineup, and obviously Hyde out for the year. And they can't trust either of the other safeties. They didn't trust Johnson. We know what happened with Cam Lewis, and Hamlin has never been in that situation. So I'm thankful for Damar Hamlin. I think that was good. And we all went defenders, which is, I don't think any of us were going to pick Gabe Davis or Isaiah McKenzie here or anything else that along that way. So let's get into, we've got Thanksgiving, 12:30, Buffalo Bills back in Detroit against the Lions. How wild is this to me? Growing up, my parents can attest to this, that every year my nerdy self would look at the Bills schedule when they were playing the Lions and just or Cowboys, and just hope and pray this is the year. Please, can we get a Thanksgiving game? And now 3 out of 4 years Thanksgiving games, it's natural. It's oh, the Bills are playing on Thanksgiving. Wow. Just another one of those, I guess. And Josh Allen now has the opportunity to be the first player to win all 3 Thanksgiving time slots. He can do a turkey of Turkey Day and win all 3 time slots on Sunday. So fun. We know it's going to be a fun atmosphere. Easily for the Lions Thanksgiving game that I've cared about the most in my entire lifetime. Usually that's just like you get into the house, starting to get some appetizers going, the game's kind of on, and then you're watching the Cowboys game more often. But we're going to be locked in here this week. Kyle, I'll start with you. Just like, I guess just talking about, if you want to talk about Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving football games in general, but just how it feels to see like the Bills on this national stage again, because it's so surreal to me still.
No, like you said, I mean, like I've been watching the Bills games. I used to watch them with my grandma all the time as a little kid and stuff growing up. And yeah, obviously went to those Super Bowls, but I was like 4 or 5 years old. So since then we had this huge like slot of where the Bills weren't on a lot of primetime games. It was always Sunday at 1:00. We weren't on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So it's like, now that we've been on Thanksgiving 3 out of the past 4 years, 2 out of the 3, like years that we did it under McDermott, like we've won. Like I have a lot of faith in this team. I feel really good about it. It makes me feel like, how much better do you feel knowing that, one, you get to watch your team on Turkey Day, but not only when you're eating the food and feeling good and stuff like that. One, we get to get that dub out of the way before we take our nap, but you're going to be able to have good dreams knowing that, hey, our team got a dub on Thanksgiving Day, and like now we got 10 days where we don't got to worry about anything else. So, like I said, I'm happy that, yeah, we were 6-3. A lot of people were upset. 6-3 still ain't bad, but then within 10 days we could be 8-3, close it off with Thanksgiving, close it off with a great turkey dinner. I'm happy. I'm laying on the couch. I'm having a great night.
Love it. How you feeling, Slick?
Yeah, this is a great way to get a Thanksgiving Day going, and then imagine how relaxing it is to just get this W out of the way and then watch some other football games with a stuffed stomach the rest of the day. Can't get much better than this. And it's against the Lions. I think this is the Thanksgiving game where we really prove that we're the new team of Thanksgiving. We deserve to play every Turkey Day.
Hell yeah.
Just like these Lions have, except we've actually been winning lately on Thanksgiving. So this is the battle of the 2 Thanksgiving teams as of late, and I'm excited to watch.
If we win, we should have the primetime slot for further notice.
I've been
like a championship belt. That's what it should be.
Right.
Like we're
yes.
like we are the champs
Turkey
now,
belt.
and you got to take us out. A turkey belt. Yes. And that's honestly, that'd be a great idea. And if Bills win this, they host next year. And then if somebody takes them out next year, they get to host the game next year. That would be a great little fun little twist. I think there is something, I don't know what exactly is, but I'm pretty sure that the Bills were like on Thanksgiving right at the beginning of their existence, like right in the early 60s, we're playing on Thanksgiving. And then the Lions like just snuck it out from under them. And that's how it ended up this way. And it might have been, I don't know how it happened, but maybe this is where we reclaim it. This is all those years of just years ago of losing it. It's going to be so much fun, though. Just so much fun to see him in that atmosphere. Wish that we were getting the throwback jerseys.
Yeah.
Can't believe that we're seeing those terrible gray color rush that the Lions have. It's just like one of my least favorite combos in the game. But let's talk about the game a little bit. There is a football game, and this is a Lions team, Kyle, that has won 3 games in a row now. And if you look at the NFC standings, is in the hunt. They're within striking distance of that wild card spot. So this is going to be a huge game for them. I'm assuming no Tre'Davious White again this week. Don't know if that's for sure, but assuming that. And the biggest problem I think I foresee is there's going to be a lot of points in this game. And the Bills have been getting killed by wide receiver ones, honestly, all year, but especially the last 3 weeks. If you look at Cooper, Jefferson, and Garrett Wilson, all had big days. And Amon-Ra St. Brown has been outstanding. I know that specifically because he's on like 3 of my fantasy teams and love that guy so much. And now this week, going to be absolutely terrified. So, but what are you looking at like for this matchup? Anything you're worried about? Anything you think we can take advantage of? Take it wherever you want it.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Like, I hope the running game stays consistent. I feel like Cook and Singletary are finally finding like a good rhythm. I think Hines is getting more and more involved in every game. Like he's doing great on special teams. I think after last week seeing, 171 rushing yards, and it was almost like equal rushing yards / passing yards. Like, we're becoming more of a complete team on offense overall instead of just like throwing the ball all the time. And then the only thing I worry about is like our secondary on defense, but pretty sure Kaiir Elam had a full practice and he looks like he's going to be good to go by the weekend. So if he plays and Poyer plays, if Milano's there and Edmonds is there, I'm not really worried about our defense. Like, the main thing that's making us lose games is injuries. Like, so many guys are getting hurt. Like, I remember looking at the Vikings injury report versus the Bills, and it was like they had 3 players. We had 12 players. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the old weather and, like, causing arthritis, the snow, our bones are cracking and stuff like that. But, like, we're feeling a lot of pain from injuries this year, and we are doing really good. Like you said, with Hamlin, we're really deep. But I do think we need our stars in there. And I think if we just get 1 or 2 more guys back in after a stud game on the run defense like we had last week against the Browns, against Nick Chubb, crushing the run defense, I think this week we're going to stop the pass and the run. And I think it's going to be like, it's not going to be a close game. I think we're going to stretch it a little bit deeper because I think we're coming off the confidence. Our defense is going to be even better. And, like, the offense is feeling better about themselves. Like, it's going to be a big turnaround from what it was 2 weeks ago.
What about you, Slick?
Yeah, for sure. I think getting a couple guys back in the secondary will help. You saw the impact Poyer made, man, when in the last game coming back. It's just, without a question, undeniable. It's so good. But I think really for me what it is we had a solid run defense the last game, but I don't think we can get too comfortable, coming into this game against a guy that leads the league in rushing touchdowns in Jamal Williams. I think we got to show up again on that front, and hopefully getting some guys back in the secondary will take care of that and maybe eliminate
a great point, Slick, that I want to add on to there. The Lions are the best offense when it comes to goal-to-goal situations in the NFL, and that is a large part because of Jamal Williams' success down there by the goal line, getting all those touchdowns. But keep going.
Precisely. So can't get too comfortable at the line of scrimmage on the defensive end, which I don't think we will. Nick Chubb's a great running back himself, and we held him to just a subpar game. So hopefully do the same and get some secondary guys back. And I think if our offense stays in the groove, it seemed like Josh got his confidence back a little bit there in the second half of the last game. Not fully, it wasn't what we know the offense can be, but hopefully we get fully back in the swing of things. Gabe Davis can start making catches like he was in the second half.
He's snake bitten. It reminds me of the entire Buffalo Sabres right now, honestly. Like that's what it feels like to me, is like a guy who just can't find an easy one. Like that's really what it looks like to me.
It's tough to watch. It really is. But we'll see where it goes. Hopefully get a bunch of guys catching the ball and Josh can get back to his full form. But I really think the run defense, we got to have a big statement game again here with the run defense against a guy like Jamal Williams.
Yeah, and I think there is in this game, I think is going to play a similar script of last week where we should outpace the Lions offensively no matter what. The Lions defense is pretty atrocious all year long. When you look at the whole season stats, they've been more solid in this win streak in the last couple weeks, but they haven't played a type of offense or a type of quarterback like they will this week or run into this type of situation here.
And you won't have a guy like Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney coming at you this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a much easier day, I think, offensively. And it's just going to be like I think we're all focused on the defense and just making sure that they're keeping everything tightened up and making plays. I'm interested to see what they do with a wide receiver. Like that's really the biggest worry to me is St. Brown and what they kind of do, because I'm sure Leslie Frazier is harping on it every week. Like we can't be letting their best guys just getting catches, and obviously it hurt them against the Vikings in a multitude of ways, but Garrett Wilson really kept them in that. Look at what Zach Wilson looked like when they took away Garrett Wilson last week when the Patriots. He was virtually invisible last week and they literally couldn't do anything, and now the guy might lose his job. And Garrett Wilson was able to do whatever he wanted to against that secondary. So it's an issue. And it might just be as simple as maybe Trey White's back next week against the Patriots. And that's what that's the biggest thing. You made a great point, Kyle, about the injuries, because no one wants to talk about injuries every week. But last week against the Vikings, they were missing, counting Hyde, who's out for the year, 6 of their projected 11 offensive starters or defensive starters. That's half. That's more than half. That's if your expectations, whatever you had for the defense, your expectations completely gone in that scenario because it's not even the same team. Not even the same team. I was
talking to Al recently, and it's like you hate to be that guy that brings up the injury excuse anytime, any game. But with our defense, it really has been
it's crazy.
It sucks.
Everybody thinks it's excuses. And so we're always making excuses. But I mean, this is legit on paper facts. These things affect us. And it's I'm not delving on it and stuff. People getting mad. Oh, we got 3 losses. 6-3 ain't that bad. It's okay. We're fine. It's a loss. Yeah. We got a lot of time to go. I ain't worried. We pop up 4 or 5 wins in a row, then everybody will be back on the Bills train and stuff. But there's been a lot of things coming up this year, and the main thing is figuring out hey, we have this issue. How do we fix it? What do we do to contain it and stuff, and move on and be the better team next week? And that's what we showed last week against the Browns, and I'm thinking we're going to show it again this week against the Lions.
I tweeted something last week that everybody, we'd all take 6-3 before the season. We wouldn't be as happy about it, but we would have taken it. And I had I had a couple trolls in my mentions that were so mad. One guy called me dumb in 3 different tweets and then blocked me because he was mad. There was so many, and that's exactly what you're talking to. It's 6-3 is not bad. They are still, everything is in front of them. Everything is that they want is in front of them. Is it the path that we thought it was going to be? No one thought the division. I'll just harp on this point over and over again. The only reason it seemed so bad is because we thought we were going to walk through the division, and the only thing we had to worry about was the Chiefs. And the division is the best in the NFL.
I was just going to say, everyone would feel a whole lot better about this 6-3 if 2 losses weren't to the Dolphins and Jets.
Yeah,
would be so much better. We wouldn't even be complaining of what we are. And, hopefully a win against the Patriots after this Thanksgiving game can take a little bit of pressure away from that worry. But people would feel so much better if those weren't 2 of the 3 losses. They'd take the Vikings loss any day of the week.
Every day.
They wouldn't even care. No one would care.
Remember when we used to be happy when we finished 8-8? We're wow. We had the amount of wins as losses. Now we're
you told me 4 years ago, I would have been great. That's
taking it every week.
Yes.
It's funny you say that because my best Bills memory before Josh Allen arrived and McDermott arrived was when they I was at the game when they beat the Jets and Fitz to keep them from the playoffs and started an 8-8 chant as we were leaving the stadium. And it was electric. Everybody was in on it. 8-8. And now, the standard's much higher. All right, let's get out of here in a minute, but we need some game predictions because I love getting predictions on the book. I had 45-24 last week. It was a little bit, I was close on the 24, had the 23, needed a couple more touchdowns instead of the Tyler Bass-O-Matic show. But Kyle, start with you. What's your prediction for Thursday? I almost said Sunday. Thursday afternoon and morning for you. You get that 11:30 start. Oh my gosh.
Thanksgiving morning before the turkey finishes cooking in the oven. I'm thinking 38-17 Buffalo. I mean, we're putting up some points. We're kicking some field goals. They're gonna hit a couple lucky shots and stuff. But 38-17 Bills. Let's go.
Love it. What about you, Slick?
I'm gonna go similar prediction. Actually, I'm gonna go 34-16 Bills. I think we hold them to 1 touchdown. And our defense shows up again. Josh throws for a few touchdowns. We maybe rush one in. And Tyler Bass gets a couple more chip shots in the same dome he was in not too long ago. So 34-16, I'm going to keep it at that.
I've been trying to predict the 40 bomb for a couple weeks now. So this is the week it's coming. 41-14 Bills in just a completely dominant game, and we will have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And like you said earlier, that nap is going to feel glorious. It's going to be amazing. That'll do it here. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody there. Kyle, give them all your stuff. Tell them where to find you.
Circle the Wagons. Instagram, Twitter, same tag. Just look for Circle the Wagons. It's like the Bears, but it's the Wagons instead of the Wagons. So, yeah, I'm on there. You can see me tweeting throughout the games. I'm posting stuff all the time. It's good.
Word up. And for Slick L, this is Jake Micah. Happy Thanksgiving. And go Bills.
Go Bills!
Wait, shout out to Outlet Liquor too, because I did not bring them up yet. Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. Why are you not there right now, loading up for Thanksgiving for
You
this
know
Bills
you're gonna have
game?
a lot of thirsty relatives over for dinner. There's only one place, New York's only, Outlet Liquor. It's the place to buy a case.
I'm gonna
The
be
more
there
you buy,
tomorrow.
the more you save. What more
I'm-
could you ask for Turkey Day?
I'm flying out of Chicago in maybe like 2 hours as we are finishing this podcast recording right now. And the first stop I will make tomorrow after I get off of my work from home day is Outlet Liquor to load up. You guys should be doing the same. Enough said. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Go Bills.